Welcome to the magical world of Ali Baba and the 40 Thieves. In this story, we'll meet Ali Baba, an ordinary woodcutter whose life is about to change forever. But what makes Ali Baba's journey so extraordinary? Let's dive into chapter 1. In the town of Persia, there lived two brothers, Qasim and Ali Baba. Qasim was wealthy and married to a rich woman, but he was selfish and never helped his brother. Ali Baba, on the other hand, was a poor woodcutter who worked hard to provide for his family. One day, while cutting wood in the forest, Ali Baba saw 40 thieves arrive at a large rock. Their leader said the magic words, "Open Sesame," and a door in the rock opened, revealing a cave full of treasure. After the thieves left, Ali Baba used the same words to enter the cave and took some gold. He hid the gold under firewood on his donkeys and returned home. Excited, he shared his discovery with his wife, who borrowed scales from Qasim's wife to weigh the gold. Suspicious, Qasim's wife put honey on the scales and found a gold coin stuck to it. When Qasim saw the coin, he realized Ali Baba had found a great treasure and became determined to uncover the truth.
So let me give you a short summary about the second chapter. So Ali Baba's brother Qasim becomes curious and greedy after hearing that the treasure in the cave. So despite Ali Baba's caution, Qasim pressures him to reveal the secret words to open the cave. Once inside, Qasim is overwhelmed by the treasure and takes more than he carry. However, he forgets that magic phrase to exit, and the cave doors close and it traps him inside. So when the thieves return, they do not notice Qasim at first, but later they find him hiding and realize he has discovered their secret. So they captured him, and in order to protect their treasure, they kill him. Meanwhile, Ali Baba worried about his brother's disappearance. So Ali Baba returned to the caves to search for him. So he eventually discovers what happened to Qasim and prepares to face the consequences of his brother's greed. So the chapter sets the stage for Ali Baba's dangerous attempts to rescue his brother and to protect the secret of the cave.
Now, Ali Baba, who is left to recover the brother or the body of his brother Qasim and hide what happened, with the help also of the clever servant named Marjani. Tension will rises while avoiding suspensions from the townspeople.
Chapter 4, More Gold for Mustafa, from children's version of Ali Baba and the 40 Thieves, detail the aftermath of Qasim's greedy demise and the 40 thieves. Subsequent cunning plan to find and eliminate whoever discovered their secret cave. The chapters open with the thieves return to the cave. Their celebratory mood shattered by the discovery of Qasim's body and the missing gold. The gruesome scene, vividly depicted, served as a stark warning. The thieves' leader then devised a plan. A skilled thief will subtly inquire about a recently swin-up corpse, leading him to the tailor who worked on Qasim's body. These thieves expertly blend into the bustling marketplace, interacting with townspeople and gathering information. His eventual meeting with Mustafa, the tailor, is a tense negotiation culminating in a brave and a deal. Mustafa will lead the thief blindfolded to Ali Baba's house. The chapter suspense builds as the blindfold Mustafa, guided by the thief, navigates the town sight and the sound. Sensory detail, the smells of the meat and roses, the sounds of the marketplace heighten the tension. The final image of a blindfold Mustafa and the thieves leave the reader in suspense, anticipating the perceptions of clandestine operation in the next chapter.
In chapter 5, it is entitled Mustafa Tries Again. In this chapter, Mustafa, the tailor who sewed up the body of the first thief killed by Morgana, becomes pivotal once more. Upon hearing about the failed attempt by his men to recover the treasure, the leader of the 40 thieves devises a new plan to locate Ali Baba's house once more. He orders Mustafa to retrace his steps to find where the treasure is hidden. So after that, the thieves' leader now disguises himself as a merchant, cleverly orchestrates the next phase of their plan. So Mustafa is bribed again and agrees to assist. He leads the leader to Ali Baba's house by recognizing the street landmarks, despite having been blindfolded the first time. So the leader then marks Ali Baba's door with chalk so the thieves can identify it later. However, Morgana, Ali Baba's intelligent servant, notices the mark and becomes suspicious. She cleverly outsmarts the thieves by marking several neighboring doors with same symbol, confusing the thieves when they return. This fails their plan once more, and they cannot identify the correct house.
Marhani and the oil. Ali Baba's servant Marhani was a very smart woman. For the dangerous thieves planned to kill Ali Baba, their sneaky leader came up with a clever but evil plan. He acts as an oil seller. He hid his 39 men inside large clay jars and one jar that filled with oil in total of 40 jars, hidden in the courtyard. The plan was, when the leader threw pebbles from window, the men would jump out to attack and kill Ali Baba. After the leader of the thieves instructed his men, he went inside the house and called Marhani to show him the way to bed because he was tired and wants to go to sleep. So after that, Marhani went back to the kitchen and decided to peel onions and carrots to put in the pot for the next day's lunch. When she was about to pick up the knife, the kitchen suddenly went dark. She just late to realize that the oil jug was empty, and she has no idea on what she needs to do because she is sure that during that night, there's no market that are still open. So she just decided to get some oil from the 40 jars and thinks that their guests will allow her to get some of it. But suddenly, when Marhani opened the jar, she heard voice inside of it, saying, "Is it time to attack?" She was surprised and just responded, "Not yet, but soon," in a deep voice to act like a oil seller. The same as well the rest of the jars, the voice says, "Is it time to attack?" She just always responds, "Not yet, but soon," in a deep voice. After that, quietly and secretly, she went to the kitchen. She took a big pot and heated up some oil until it boiled. Then, carefully, she poured the boiling oil into each of the jars. The thieves inside wouldn't know what hit them. Later that night, the leader of the thieves threw pebbles as planned. He waited for his men to jump out and attack, but nothing happened. Only silence. He threw more pebbles, still nothing, nor response from his men. He went to check the jars angrily. He opened one jar, then another, and another. To his surprise, he found all his men dead inside, boiled alive by the hot oil Marhani had cleverly put in the jars. The leader was terrified and ran away as fast as he could because he think he's not safe in that house.
Good day, everyone. Now, before we start our chapter 10, titled Why Alibaba is Rich, we will discuss first the active vocabulary and the passive vocabulary that can be read in the story. Now, before we proceed, I would like to discuss what are active and passive vocabulary. So, active vocabulary refers to the words that are constantly used by the characters from the story. Passive vocabulary are the words that are known from the characters or was used by the characters but not as often as the active vocabulary. Now, one of the words that are part of the active vocabulary are feast. Feast is something that people do in a certain community or in a certain household when they have something to celebrate to, and they will have food in their table and will be hosted by the people who wanted to have the feast. Next, we have glitter, which is what we call something that is shining from afar or keeps on shining on their own. Next, we have jewelry. Jewelry with a double L in the word. Jewelry refers to the overall jewel that was put together so that it will become a jewelry. A piece that can be worn or can be a headpiece that is worn by women or the men during their time. Next, we have neighbor. Now, those are the active words. Next, we have the passive words. First is goblets. So, goblets is formed like a cup, which has a handle, and it can be silver or gold. Next, we have pleaded. So, it is something that you will ask for. For example, I am pleading for your forgiveness. I am pleading for your attention. So, yes, it is what you do. Pleading is what you do when you ask something. Next is smart. So we knew what smart is, yet it's not constantly used in our vocabulary. It is not usually used to refer someone in their total intellect. Yet it is used if someone has a higher intellect or a great intellect than you do. So smart. You can be smart. Anyone can be smart. Are you smart? Okay. So thank you. Now we are through discussing the active and passive vocabulary, and let's proceed to the chapter 10 titled Why Alibaba is Rich. And during this chapter, Alibaba's son Khaled married Manjani, which is a simple girl from their village as well. And one of the attendees asked Alibaba why he allowed Khaled to marry Manjani when she is just a simple peasant girl. Yet one of the attendees argued from the questions of the other attendee and said that Alibaba and Khaled are very blessed to have Manjani in their family because Manjani is loyal, kind, and a brave girl. She will do everything for them. Now, as the celebration went by and it came to an end, Alibaba have fixed his donkeys so that he will go to the cave. Now, in the cave, there are treasures there where a lot of thieves have tried to get, and a lot of thieves have died in there as well. So he bid his goodbye to his family and went to the cave. He said, "Open sesame," and the cave opened, and he saw a lot of treasures there. He said a lot of people hadn't come here anymore because of the risk to have just to go to that cave. Yet Alibaba have gained the access to the cave and have been there a lot of times already. During this time, Alibaba got a few treasures and jewelry, yet he said, "I'll leave some and I will get only a few so that I won't use this too much." And then as years go by, after a year later, a lot of the gold and the treasures were already used. And Alibaba said, "I will tell my son Khaled, where do I get the gold?" So Alibaba told Khaled about the cave where it's a lot of treasures, and he said, "You're already a father now, and I will tell you where the gold was coming from." So they went to the cave, Khaled and Alibaba, and said that all the thieves were already killed and no one is here for more than a year here. And Khaled said, "Yes, I know because Manjani killed those thieves." Now, Alibaba said none of his family will ever experience famine and poverty ever again, and they are doing their best to use the treasure that they have found efficiently. And that is the end of Alibaba and why he is rich. Now, I hope you found your lesson and learned a lot of vocabulary that can be used to your day-to-day basis. God bless you.